We are late, but still great. Thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling. I am Slim the Kid here on the 18th of May, 2022. We are a day late, usually giving you a new episode of Round 2 Wrestling sometime on Tuesday. It is Wednesday. We had a little bit of difficulty collecting enough information to broadcast at the correct time, but I promise you that the wait is well worth it, as we have a plethora of things to go over and to talk about. And we will kick things off on Round 2 Wrestling the way that we always do. That is dipping into the rumor mill and discussing the rumors circulating in the world of professional wrestling. Wrestling Observer Radio says, as of right now, there are no plans to unify the WWE tag titles. This is of great debate because there are people that will tell you that it is going to happen this Friday. Yet Wrestling Observer Radio and Dave Meltzer in particular are saying this is not going to happen. But it is a rumor. So it may actually happen. But as we like to say here on Round 2 Wrestling, only time will tell. Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez noted that New Japan Pro Wrestling Kota Ibushi has burned his bridges, quote-unquote, in New Japan Pro Wrestling and all of Japanese pro wrestling. And this has been heard from multiple well-connected people. This is sort of sad because Kota Ibushi could be one of the highlights for the AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view coming up in June. Whether or not he's able to salvage any sort of relationship with this promotion has yet to be seen, but we will keep our eyes on this story as it develops. Per Fightful, there have been no formal contract negotiations between AEW and MJF. It is no secret that Tony Khan got upset with MJF earlier this year by putting himself onto a podcast that he was not given permission to be on. MJF saying, "Fuck you, Tony Khan, I'm going to do whatever I want." He's also stated several times that he does in fact want to start a quote-unquote bidding war in 2024 when his current contract with AEW is up. And again, it's no secret that he has great interest in WWE, going on social media and defending WWE whenever somebody seems to attack them. So this, again, will be interesting to see going forward. Will AEW pony up the money to keep MJF around? Will they put a title on him? Will they put a title on him in hopes that that will keep him in the company when his tenure comes up in the next 2 years? Who knows, but it makes for excellent TV nonetheless. Per Fightful Select, Naomi scheduled to win the Raw Six-Pack Challenge was scheduled to win the Raw Six-Pack Challenge, but her and Sasha Banks walked out on Monday Night Raw 2 nights ago. This story is still in development, and now there is a wrinkle of doubt thrown into the story as to whether or not it has any sustenance behind it, and that this may all indeed just be a work in order to get one of the two women over. According to Fightful Select, Hall of Famer Ric Flair confirmed to return to the ring for a tag team match with Ricky Steamboat. It will be July 31st in Nashville, Tennessee at StarCast 5. This has also changed in the last couple of days. Ricky Steamboat has come forward and said that he is not interested in doing another match with Ric Flair, either in a singles competition or in a tag match. And he cited it for several very good reasons. That being the last time he was seen in a ring, it was against Chris Jericho at WrestleMania Backlash, and he put together a great match for being somebody well into his 60s, and he said it is that he wants the fans to remember him by, not a last feel-good match for Ric Flair. All right, no more rumors to discuss, so we will jump right into legitimate news here on Round 2 Wrestling. Naomi and Sasha Banks walk out on Raw due to team getting split for individual singles runs, culminating in both Raw and SmackDown women's title matches for both Banks and Naomi. This was not pleasing to the wrestlers. They came together. They also went to management, it sounds like, specifically John Laurinaitis, asked for this particular storyline to be rewritten. Or for them to make changes in a way that was more pleasing to the wrestlers. WWE absolutely refused, and both walked out. This is a very interesting story, and we will keep you informed here on Round 2 Wrestling as to what happens between Miss Banks and Naomi. Ring of Honor Acquisition Company, LLC, submitted a trademark application for a new Ring of Honor logo. New logo images have been leaked online. This is free for you to view. Just simply type in Google Images and look up the new Ring of Honor logo. Ricky Steamboat declined offer to face Ric Flair in a quote-unquote last match. And we just got done discussing the reasons for that just a few minutes ago. Per Grillin Jr., Hall of Famer Jim Ross has recently signed an extension with AEW and looks to be with the company for the foreseeable future. All right, that is enough news. Now we move on to a fan favorite and my new personal favorite. Did you know our little bits of information and facts pertaining to the world of professional wrestling? Not specifically WWE, but all over the place. We're talking Mexico, Japan, the United States, anywhere that professional wrestling takes place. If there is an interesting fact to be known or talked about, I am going to dig deep and give that to you. Did you know Billy Kidman is the only person to have 3 consecutive pinfalls over the great Hulk Hogan? Did you know Stone Cold Steve Austin has only won his WWF/WWE World titles on either Raw or headlining WrestleMania? Did you know WCW had a women's division in 1999 and 2000, but they performed almost exclusively on Saturday night, and you could not see these women wrestle unless you were live and in person? Did you know the Funk family is from Hammond, Indiana, not Amarillo, Texas? And as our final Did You Know fact, did you know NXT champion Bron Breakker is a playable football player in Madden 2021? All right, we reached the halfway point here in Round 2 Wrestling. We still have 3 bits to go over: the results from the past week, our match of the week, and then we will close out Round 2 Wrestling with our Michigan highlight. Here we go with the results that took place this past week. NXT UK champion Ilya Dragunov defeated Jordan Devlin to retain the title. Fred Rossier defeated Filthy Tom Lawler to win the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight title. Juice Robinson defeated Jon Moxley, Will Ospreay, and Hiroshi Tanahashi to win the IWGP US Heavyweight title. Scorpio Sky defended the TNT title this past Friday and defeated Frankie Kazarian to retain said title. Mercedes Martinez defeated Trish Adora to retain the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Myron Reed defeated Casey Navarro and Arez to retain the MLW Middleweight Championship. Alex Hammerstone defeated Richard Holiday to retain the MLW Heavyweight title. Taya Valkyrie defeated Holodead to become the inaugural MLW Women's Featherweight Champion. That's a new one, and I like that, featherweight. Hustle and Power defeated 5150 and Ross and Marshall Von Erich to retain the MLW Tag Team titles this past week. All right, nothing else to report on championship-wise, so we will move right into the match of the week. The match of the week took place July 16th, 1977, on the World of Sport in the United Kingdom. It was a British welterweight title match featuring challenger Vic Faulkner against champion Jim Breaks. Chain wrestling at its finest. A big-time match with a big-time match feel and atmosphere. Angry grannies and very vocal and aggressive fans made for an unforgettable championship bout. Hard hitting, hard slapping, and hard fought are the words first brought to mind when watching this particular championship bout. After 6 hard-fought, grueling physical rounds, Faulkner would get a second pin and would reclaim the British welterweight title for the second time. For those of you who are new to the British world of professional wrestling, especially world of sport professional wrestling, these matches were divided up into 3-minute rounds, usually consisting anywhere from 9 to 15 rounds. And the only way to win your opponent was beat your opponent. Was either by knockout or by accumulating 2 pinfalls, not consecutively. You could pick up a pinfall and then a couple rounds later pick up another pinfall and still be declared the winner. A very boxing MMA style feel for this particular British type of wrestling. I find it very entertaining and makes for great TV. We have a ranking system for our match of the week. It is a bell system. 1 bell meaning the match is absolute garbage. You would never watch it again. 5 bells being a perfect match and you could watch it forever. Our match of the week this week gets 4 out of 5 bells. A very, very well put together match that is worth your time to view. This is actually available to be viewed on YouTube. Simply type in World of Sport British welterweight title match Vic Faulkner versus Jim Breaks. All right, we will conclude round 2 wrestling like we always do by talking about our Michigan highlight. Our Michigan highlight is when we take a wrestler or a promotion born or based in the state of Michigan and have something nice to say about them for just a few minutes. Our Michigan highlight this week is Juggalo Championship Wrestling, aka JCW. Founded December 19th, 1999 in Detroit, Michigan, Juggalo Championship Wrestling was founded by infamous or famous, depending on where you fall on the whole ICP fandom thing, by Detroit rap group Insane Clown Posse. JCW specializes in death matches and shoot-type wrestling. JCW styles itself and draws inspiration from the now-defunct ECW. St. Andrews Hall in Detroit is the preferred venue for JCW and its live events. Prior to 2010, JCW could only be viewed live or on a very limited amount of VHS and DVDs. JCW began internet pay-per-views in 2011, featuring events throughout early 2011. 2 championships are featured in JCW, the JCW Heavyweight and the JCW Tag Team Championships. The current JCW Heavyweight Champion is Vampiro from the old WCW days, and the Tag Team titles are currently vacant. A few famous names to be featured in JCW include, but are not limited to, Violent J, Shaggy 2 Dope, the Iron Sheik, King Kong Bundy, Abdullah the Butcher, both of the Doinks, Boom Boom Colt Cabana, Raven, Sabu, and Zach Gowen. All right, that concludes this week's podcast of Round 2 Wrestling. I am Slim the Kid, and I want to thank you personally for tuning into this broadcast and listening to what I have to say. I hope you tune in next week as I bring you another new episode of Round 2 Wrestling that brings you more news, more highlights, and more rumors from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by Slim the Kid and Spreaker.com.